Welcome to our 5 on 5. We're sitting down today with John Enders, writing a book about the history of Lithia Park. John, great to see you. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So Lithia Park's celebrating its 100th birthday this summer. You're working on a book about the park and its history. Tell us how big a project this is.
Well, it's as big as Lithia Park. The park is 100 years old this summer. It began earlier than that, but it was formally dedicated over the July 4th weekend in 1916. Over a period of 3 days that year, 50,000 people came to Ashland to celebrate the formal opening of Lithia Park. It's a magnificent park. It's obviously, as the book title will say, Lithia Park, the heart and soul of Ashland. It's a 93-acre park right in the heart of downtown Ashland and has a little bit of everything.
And tell us a little bit of the history of the park. It's the creator, if that's the correct word for it, the builder, the architect of it all, has some pretty fascinating roots.
It has a really interesting history because it came out of a group of women in Ashland who insisted that the city council put the land aside along Ashland Creek. And then a few years later, this was in 1908, a few years later they hired John Hayes McLaren, who was the superintendent of Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, and they brought him up and had him design Lithia Park. He was a disciple of Frederick Olmsted, who led the movement nationwide, designed, built Central Park in New York City, a famous Olmsted. And McLaren was superintendent of Golden Gate Park for many, many years.
Wow, so some pretty forward-thinking women right there. We have a lot to say.
Absolutely, and then the city council in Ashland and the founding mothers and fathers of the city decided that the park was really the centerpiece of the community and built it adjacent to the downtown, which was right around the plaza.
Yeah, wow, very cool, very cool. We're going to take a quick break. Much more in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with writer John Enders, writing a book about Lithia Park and its 100th birthday this summer. So tell me about some of the interesting chapters you have in this book, John.
So, Craig, what we're trying to do is be very inclusive, starting with the prehistory of the park. It was, at one point, a native settlement before white settlers arrived. And then it began a period of growth, development, languished for many years, was devastated by a couple of major floods in 74 and 97, and has been maintained ever since and built up over that period of time. Today, 100 years after its formal dedication, it is really the centerpiece of Ashland's tourist trade. Several 100,000 people come to Ashland every year for Shakespeare, and a good portion of those walk through Lithia Park. There's not a local in the Rogue Valley who doesn't know and love Lithia Park. It's one of the more beautiful city parks in the country.
Certainly, we can definitely attest to that. Okay, so you're working with the Ashland Parks Foundation in putting this book together, and people can help be a part of the creation of this book, because it's not finished. It's not coming out till the fall.
That's correct. It'll be published in the fall. The Ashland Parks Foundation is a nonprofit. We are financing the book through donations and about halfway to our goal. So if people would like to help, they can send a donation, tax deductible, to the Ashland Parks Foundation.
Okay, and they can also find out more information on the website, Ashland Parks
On
Foundation.
the website, they can also call the Parks Department. They can reach me in Talent. I live in Talent. I'm in the phone book.
Okay.
And anybody who has any particular connection to Lithia Park, I'm always looking for anecdotal testimonials. I've already met a number of people who met their wives or husbands in Lithia Park, or my sister was married in Lithia Park, one of them, and everybody has a connection to Lithia Park in one way or another, including people of alternative lifestyles. You know, some of the controversies around Lithia Park is, should we allow hippies in the park? In the 60s, today there are people who would like to camp in Lithia Park that aren't allowed to. There have been a number of controversies, but mostly it's a good news kind of book.
Very good. Great to see you.
Thank you.
I look forward to the book. Thanks very much. Stay with us. We'll be right back.